What's up guys, David here, and you know what time it is. Today, we're doing a speed test between the US variants of the Galaxy S7 and the LG G5, which means that both phones have the same Snapdragon 820 processor, the same Quad HD resolution, and the same amount of RAM under the hood. So, at least on paper, both of these devices should offer similar performance. But as you guys know, spec sheets alone don't always translate into real-world performance, and that's exactly why we do these phone book style speed tests here on the channel. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so we'll get things going by starting these stopwatches on each phone and then do what we always do and jump straight into the first row of system apps, where the G5 loads the settings app just a hair faster than the Galaxy S7, giving it the slight lead as both phones work on Angry Birds. Now, I know some of you may be wondering why we're using the Snapdragon variant of the Galaxy S7 instead of the Exynos variant. And the reason is, for one, the G5 we're testing here is a US version, so it's only fair to use a US version of the S7, and second, we want to know how well Samsung optimized the S7 for the Snapdragon 820 compared to how LG did with the G5. And since both phones have nearly identical specs, optimization will be the key differentiator in this speed test. So as the S7 works on Photoshop Mix, the G5 inches further ahead with it working on Lapse-It, where each phone will have to create a time lapse from the same exact video file. Now, since both of these phones are using the same exact processor, there shouldn't be too much of a difference here. But for whatever reason, the G5 did it about 10% faster than the S7, pushing it further ahead in this speed test. But the Galaxy S7 isn't too far behind, with still plenty of apps left for it to make a potential comeback. And that comeback may just come in the second lap if the G5 isn't able to keep as many apps open in the background as the S7. But before we find out, the G5 has to finish this last leg of this first lap by loading both the mobile and desktop versions of the Amazon website. And it does so with ease, finishing up the first lap with a time of 1 minute and 27 seconds, with the Galaxy S7 still hot on its heels, finishing just 5 seconds later with a time of 1 minute and 32 seconds. And oh, the G5 isn't able to keep Angry Birds open in the background, and neither is the S7, so both phones struggling here in this second lap, so we may just see a repeat of what we saw in the first lap, unless one of these phones could one-up the other and earn itself a definitive win by having at least one or two more apps ready to go. So after having to reload Clash of Clans, the G5 does have Smash Hit ready to go, as it does Photoshop Mix. So this could just be where the G5 runs away with it, but the S7 isn't going to give up quite yet, with it also having Smash Hit and Photoshop ready, as well as Lapse-It. But it fails to keep ESPN open, so the G5 finishes the test with a total time of 2 minutes and 17 seconds, and the S7 continues to struggle, falling even further behind as it loads up Spotify and the Amazon website, finally finishing with a total time of 2 minutes and 32 seconds, making the winner the LG G5. That is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will see you in the very next episode.